Hello and welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about money, but not the kind of money most people talk about. Not money from a rich family. Not money from a lucky lottery ticket. Not money from a big investment account. Not money from a business that needs thousands of dollars to begin. No. Today, we are talking about 7 ways to make money with no capital. And before we go deeper, let's be very clear. No capital does not mean no effort. No capital does not mean no work. No capital does not mean sitting on the sofa, watching videos, and waiting for money to fall from the sky. That is fantasy. That is weak thinking. That is the kind of thinking that keeps people broke. No capital means you do not start with money. You start with something else. Your time, your attention, your mouth, your hands, your phone, your knowledge, your relationships, your ability to notice problems, your ability to help someone, your ability to connect to people, your ability to learn faster than lazy people. That is the difference. Poor people often say, "I cannot start because I have no money." Rich people ask, "What do I already have that can be turned into money?" That question changes everything, because the rich understand one simple truth. Money is not always the starting point. Sometimes, money is the result of solving a problem, the result of helping a person, the result of selling something you do not own, the result of using attention, the result of using trust, the result of using speed, the result of using information. And that is why rich people are smart. They do not always wait until they have everything. They use what they have now. A poor mindset waits for perfect conditions. A rich mindset starts with available resources. There is a big difference. One person says, "I need money to make money." Another person says, "I need a problem to solve." One person waits. Another person looks. One person complains. Another person connects. One person says, "I have nothing." Another person says, "I have time. I have a phone. I have energy. I have the internet. I have my brain." That is enough to start. And that is where the game begins. Today, I want you to listen carefully, because these 7 ways are simple. But simple does not mean weak. Simple does not mean easy. Simple does not mean useless. Many people stay poor because they are too proud to do simple things. They want a big idea. They want a fancy business. They want a perfect brand. They want a beautiful office. They want a logo. They want a website. They want people to clap for them before they even make $1. That is nonsense. Money does not care about your ego. Money follows value. If you create value, money can come. If you solve problems, money can come. If you help people save time, save energy, make money, feel better, or avoid pain, money can come. So today, do not ask, "How can I look rich?" Ask, "How can I become useful?" That is a much better question. Now, let's start with the first way. The first way to make money with no capital is service arbitrage. This sounds complicated, but it is very simple. Service arbitrage means you sell a service first, then find someone else to do the service for less. You do not need to own a product. You do not need to rent a shop. You do not need to buy inventory. You need to find a client. You need to understand what they want. Then you connect them with someone who can do the work. For example, a small business needs a logo. You find the business. You offer a logo package for $100. Then You find a designer who can do the logo for $50. You manage the communication. You check the work. You deliver it to the client. You keep the difference. That difference is your profit. You did not design the logo. You did not need expensive software. You did not need a team. You used communication. You used attention. You used connection. That is business. Another example, a restaurant needs short videos for social media. You talk to the restaurant owner. You say, I can help you create simple videos for your Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. Then you find a video editor online. You collect the restaurant's photos and videos. You send them to the editor. The editor makes the content. You deliver it. The restaurant pays you. You pay the editor. You keep the profit. This is how many people start. Not by being the best expert, but by being the person who can organize the result. Poor people hear this and say, but I cannot design. I cannot edit. I cannot write. I cannot do anything. That is weak thinking. You do not always need to do the work yourself. Sometimes you need to find the person who needs the work and the person who can do the work. Then you stand in the middle. The middle has money. The person with the problem pays. The person with the skill earns. And you earn because you connect, manage, and deliver. That is not cheating. That is business. But remember this, you must be honest. Do not lie. Do not promise what you cannot deliver. Do not take money and disappear like a coward. If you sell a service, you must manage the job properly. You must protect the client. You must check the quality. You must communicate clearly. Because the real asset here is not money. It is trust. If people trust you, you can sell again. If people do not trust you, you are finished. So, service arbitrage is simple. Find a problem. Find someone who can solve it. Sell the solution. Manage the process. Keep the profit. That is way number one. Now, the second way to make money with no capital is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing means you promote someone else's product and earn a commission when someone buys through your link. You do not create the product. You do not handle shipping. You do not manage customer service. You do not need a warehouse. You do not need to invest in inventory. You recommend. You explain. You educate. You guide people to the right product. And when they buy, you earn. This is one of the smartest no-capital models because you can start with content. A phone is enough. A page is enough. A video is enough. A simple post is enough. But do not be stupid about it. Affiliate marketing is not just throwing links everywhere. That is what desperate people do. They spam. They beg. They paste links in comments. They annoy everyone. And then they say, affiliate marketing does not work. No, you do not work. The smart way is different. You choose a specific audience. You understand their problem. Then you recommend a product that truly helps. For example, if your audience is people who want to learn English, you can recommend an English course, an app, a book, or a learning tool. But before you recommend it, you explain the problem. Why people cannot study every day. Why they forget words. Why they need listening practice. Why a simple tool can help. Then the product becomes a solution, not a random link. Another example. If your audience is older adults who want better health, you can recommend books, tools, supplements, exercise products, sleep products, or educational programs. But again, do not just sell. Teach first. Help first. Build trust first. Then recommend. Rich people understand this. They do not chase customers. They build attention. They build trust. They build a bridge between problem and product. Poor people want quick money. They want to post a link today and become rich tomorrow. That is childish. Affiliate money comes from useful content repeated many times. One video, one article, one review, one comparison, one guide, one story, one explanation, again and again. The money is not in the link. The money is in the trust before the link. Remember that. If people do not trust you, your link is worthless. If people trust you, one sentence can sell. That is the power of affiliate marketing. Now, the third way to make money with no capital is content repurposing. This is one of the easiest ways for people who have time but no money. Content repurposing means taking one piece of content and turning it into many smaller pieces. For example, a business owner has a long podcast. You turn it into short clips. You turn the clips into captions. You turn the captions into posts. You turn the best ideas into quotes. You turn the podcast into a blog article. You turn the article into an email. One piece becomes many pieces. This saves the business owner time, and people pay for saved time. That is important. Many people think money only comes from doing something difficult. Not true. Money often comes from doing something other people do not have time to do. A coach may have knowledge, but no time to make daily posts. A dentist may have videos, but no time to cut them into short clips. A real estate agent may have long videos, but no time to turn them into TikTok content. A YouTuber may have old videos, but no time to make newsletters. This is your chance. You can say, I can help you turn your existing content into short posts and videos. You do not need to be a genius. You need to be organized. You need to listen. You need to cut. You need to summarize. You need to write clearly. You need to deliver on time. This model is powerful because many people already have content. They just do not know how to use it again. They make one video and forget it. They record one podcast and leave it there. They write one article and let it die. Smart people see waste. And wherever there is waste, there is opportunity. Rich people are good at finding hidden value. They ask, what is already here that can be used again? Poor people only see what is missing. Rich people see what is unused. That difference is huge. You can start by finding local businesses, coaches, small creators, real estate agents, fitness trainers, doctors, teachers, or consultants. Look at their content. Are their videos too long? Are their captions weak? Are they not posting enough? Do they have good ideas but bad presentation? Then offer help, not with a long message. Keep it simple. Say something like this: I watched your video. There are 3 strong moments inside it. I can turn this video into short clips and social posts for you. Would you like me to send a sample? That is smart. A sample can open the door. You do not need capital. You need observation. You need effort. You need a small result that proves you can help. Now, the 4th way to make money with no capital is selling information. This does not mean pretending to be a guru. Do not be that person. Do not talk like you are rich when you have never made money. Do not sell fake dreams. Do not lie. Selling information means organizing useful knowledge in a way that saves people time. People pay for clarity. People pay for shortcuts. People pay when you help them understand something faster. For example, maybe you know how to apply for jobs. You can create a simple guide. Maybe you know how to use a tool. You can teach beginners. Maybe you know how to edit simple videos. You can create a checklist. Maybe you know how to cook healthy meals on a budget. You can make a small recipe guide. Maybe you know how to help older adults use smartphones. You can make a simple class. Maybe you know how to find cheap travel deals. You can create a mini guide. Information becomes money when it solves a clear problem, not random information. Clear information, useful information, organized information, information that helps someone move from confusion to action. That is the key. Most people are drowning in information. They do not need more noise. They need order. They need steps. They need someone to say, start here. Do this first. Avoid this mistake. Use this tool. Follow this checklist. That is valuable. And you can start with no capital. You can write a guide in a document. You can record a simple video on your phone. You can teach through a live call. You can create a checklist. You can sell a template. You can make a small PDF. You can run a small online class. But again, you must be honest. Do not sell what you do not know. Do not promise impossible results. Do not say, you will become rich in 7 days. That is trash. Say what is true. Say, this guide helps beginners understand the first steps. Say, this checklist helps you avoid common mistakes. Say, this template saves you time. Simple, honest, useful. That is enough. Rich people understand packaging. They take knowledge and turn it into a product. Poor people often keep knowledge inside their head and never use it. They say, everybody knows this. No, everybody does not know this. And even if they know it, they may not have it organized. Your job is not always to invent new information. Sometimes your job is to make useful information easier to use. That is how information can become income. Now, before we continue, I want you to listen carefully, because this is the part most people do not want to hear. You do not need money to start, but you do need courage. You do need humility. You do need discipline. You do need to stop acting like the world owes you an easy life. If you have no capital, then your capital is effort. If you have no money, then your capital is speed. If you have no network, then your capital is outreach. If you have no skill, then your capital is learning. If you have no audience, then your capital is consistency. But weak people hate this. They want a method with no risk, no rejection, no learning, no embarrassment, no hard days, and no failure. That method does not exist. Stop looking for it. The rich are smart because they use what they have. The poor stay stuck when they only cry about what they lack. If you have a phone, you can start. If you have the internet, you can learn. If you have time, you can practice. If you can talk, you can offer. If you can listen, you can find problems. If you can solve even one small problem, you can earn. So do not sit there saying, I have nothing. That is not true. You have something, but maybe you have been too lazy, too scared, or too proud to use it. If this message hits you, subscribe to the channel now, not tomorrow. Now, hit subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Stay with this channel, because here we talk about money in a simple way. No fake luxury. No empty motivation. No stupid promises. Just practical ideas. Short steps, clear thinking, and real action. Now, let's continue. The fifth way to make money with no capital is becoming a connector. A connector is someone who brings people together. Someone needs a service. Someone else provides that service. You connect them, and you earn a fee. This is similar to service arbitrage, but not exactly the same. In service arbitrage, you manage the delivery. In connecting, you may only introduce the right people and earn a referral fee. For example, a friend wants to build a website. You know a web designer. You introduce them. The designer pays you a referral fee if the client buys. Another example, a local business needs someone to run ads. You know an ads specialist. You connect them. Another example, someone wants to buy a house. You know a real estate agent. You introduce them. Another example, someone wants to learn English. You know a good tutor. You connect them. This is simple, but many people ignore it. Why? Because they do not pay attention. They hear problems every day, but they do nothing. A person says, "I need someone to fix my website." They just nod. A person says, "I need a good video editor." They just say, "Oh, okay." A person says, "I want to start a YouTube channel." They say, "Good luck." That is poor thinking. A smart person listens differently. A smart person hears a problem and thinks, "Who do I know that can solve this?" That one question can make money. But you must build trust with both sides. Do not connect people randomly. Do not recommend bad service just to earn a small fee. That is short-term thinking. If you connect someone to a bad provider, your name becomes dirty. Your reputation matters. A good connector becomes valuable because people trust their judgment. They say, if he recommends someone, that person is probably good. That is powerful. Trust can become money. Relationships can become money. Attention can become money, but only if you use them properly. So start listening. Listen to what people complain about. Listen to what they need. Listen to what they are looking for. Then make useful introductions. You can even build a simple list. Good designers, good editors, good tutors, good writers, good repair workers, good consultants, good software tools, good local services. When someone needs help, you can connect them quickly, and speed has value. Now, the sixth way to make money with no capital is freelancing with one simple skill. Do not try to learn 10 skills at once. That is how beginners get lost. They learn design today, coding tomorrow, copywriting next week, video editing after that, then marketing, then AI, then trading, then dropshipping, then they quit because their brain becomes confused. Start with one skill, one simple skill, a skill people already pay for: writing, short video editing, thumbnail design, basic graphic design, translation, voiceover, data entry, customer support, social media posting, email writing, research, appointment setting, simple website setup. Choose one. Not forever. Just for now. Poor people often ask, what is the best skill? That is the wrong question. The better question is, which skill can I learn fast enough to sell a basic service? You do not need to be world-class at the beginning. You need to be useful to someone. For example, many small businesses do not need a Hollywood video editor. They need someone who can cut a simple video, add captions, remove mistakes, and deliver on time. Many business owners do not need a genius writer. They need someone who can write clear posts every week. Many creators do not need a professional manager. They need someone who can organize files, research topics, and upload content. There are levels. Do not compare your beginner skill to the best person in the world. Compare your skill to the problem in front of you. Can you solve it? Can you do it better than the client can do it alone? Can you save them time? If yes, you can start. Freelancing with no capital means you trade skill for money. At first, the money may be small. That is fine. Small money is not failure. Small money is proof. Proof that someone is willing to pay. Proof that your skill has value. Proof that you can start. Then you improve. Raise quality. Raise price. Find better clients. Build proof. Collect testimonials. Turn one job into the next job. This is how skill becomes income. But do not be lazy. A skill does not become money just because you watch tutorials. Watching is not earning. Saving videos is not earning. Buying courses is not earning. Planning is not earning. You earn when you offer. You earn when you deliver. You earn when someone pays. So learn, but do not hide behind learning. Make a sample. Send a message. Offer a service. Get feedback. Improve. Repeat. That is the real path. Now, the seventh way to make money with no capital is building an audience. This is the slowest method, but it can become one of the most powerful. An audience is a group of people who pay attention to you. They watch your videos, read your posts, listen to your voice, trust your ideas, follow your recommendations. When you have an audience, you have leverage. You can sell affiliate products. You can sell your own products. You can sell services. You can get sponsorships. You can build a community. You can launch offers. But do not misunderstand. An audience is not just followers. Followers are numbers. Audience is attention. There is a difference. You can have 100,000 followers and make no money because nobody trusts you. You can have 1,000 true followers and make real income because they listen. The goal is not to be famous. The goal is to be useful to a specific group of people. That is why niche matters. Do not talk to everyone. Talk to someone. Talk to beginners learning English. Talk to older adults who want better health. Talk to small business owners who need social media. Talk to parents who want to save money. Talk to people who want to build YouTube channels. Talk to one group clearly. If you talk to everyone, nobody feels that you are talking to them. But if you talk to one group, they stop and listen. Now, how do you build an audience with no capital? You create content. Simple content. Consistent content. Useful content. You answer questions. You explain problems. You share lessons. You tell stories. You review tools. You give examples. You show mistakes. You show steps. You make people feel, this person understands me. That feeling is the beginning of trust. At first, nobody watches. That is normal. Do not cry. Do not quit after 5 posts like a weak child. Post again. Improve again. Study what works. Study titles. Study hooks. Study thumbnails. Study comments. Study what people ask. Use feedback. The algorithm does not owe you views. The audience does not owe you attention. You must earn it. And you earn it by being useful again and again. This is why rich people think long-term. They understand that attention is an asset. Poor thinkers want instant money. They want to post once and win. That is not how this works. If you build an audience, you are planting a tree. At first, it looks small, almost useless. Then it grows. One video brings 10 people. Another brings 50. Another brings 500. One person buys. Another asks for help. Another shares your content. Then one day, the audience becomes a business. Not overnight, but through repetition. Content is powerful because it works even when you are not online. A video can bring views while you sleep. An article can bring leads while you eat. A post can build trust before someone ever talks to you. That is leverage. And leverage is how smart people escape trading every hour for money. But you must start. Again, no capital does not mean no work. It means the work is the capital. Now, let's look at these 7 ways again. Service arbitrage, affiliate marketing, content repurposing, selling information, becoming a connector, freelancing with one simple skill, building an audience, 7 ways. No big investment, no expensive office, no warehouse, no employees, no fancy beginning, but each way requires something. Service arbitrage requires communication. Affiliate marketing requires trust. Content repurposing requires organization. Selling information requires clarity. Connecting requires relationships. Freelancing requires skill. Audience building requires consistency. So, stop asking for a magic button. There is no magic button. There are only useful actions. And here is the part you must understand. The rich are not always smarter because they know secret things. Many times, they are smarter because they see ordinary things differently. They see time as capital. They see trust as capital. They see attention as capital. They see problems as opportunities. They see skills as assets. They see relationships as bridges. They see information as something that can be packaged. Poor thinkers look at the same world and see nothing. They see a phone and use it for scrolling. A smart person sees a phone and uses it for outreach. They see the internet and use it for entertainment. A smart person sees the internet and uses it for learning and selling. They see free time and kill it. A smart person sees free time and builds a skill. They see a problem and complain. A smart person sees a problem and asks, "Can this become an offer?" That is the difference. Same world, different eyes. Same internet, different use. Same 24 hours, different decisions. You do not become rich by copying the lifestyle of rich people. You become rich by copying the thinking. Rich thinking asks better questions. Who has a problem? What do they want? What can I offer? Who can help me deliver it? How can I create value before asking for money? How can I use this one piece of content again? How can I turn this skill into a service? How can I build trust with one group of people? These questions create movement. Poor questions create excuses. Why is life unfair? Why do I have no money? Why was I not born rich? Why is everyone lucky except me? Those questions lead nowhere. They only make you feel more stuck. Now, let's make this practical. If you are starting from 0, do not try all 7 ways at the same time. That is stupid. Choose one. Only one. For the next 30 days, choose one path. If you like talking to people, try connecting or service arbitrage. If you like creating content, try affiliate marketing or audience building. If you like organizing information, try selling guides or templates. If you like editing and writing, try freelancing or content repurposing. Choose the path that matches your current strengths, not your fantasy, your real strengths. Then, take a tiny action today, not tomorrow. Today, if you choose service arbitrage, find 3 businesses that need help. If you choose affiliate marketing, choose 1 problem and 1 product. If you choose content repurposing, find 1 creator with long content and make a sample. If you choose selling information, write a simple outline for a guide. If you choose connecting, make a list of 10 people who provide useful services. If you choose freelancing, choose 1 skill and create 1 sample. If you choose audience building, write your first post or record your first short video. Small action, real action, no drama, no overthinking. Remember this, the first dollar is not about the dollar. The first dollar is proof. Proof that you can create value. Proof that someone will pay. Proof that your mind is changing. Proof that you are no longer just a watcher. You are becoming a builder. That first dollar may be small, but it can change your identity. A person who has never earned online thinks differently from a person who has earned even $1. $1 says, this is possible. Then you can improve. Then you can repeat. Then you can scale. But you will never reach that moment if you keep waiting. Waiting is expensive. Waiting steals years. Waiting makes people old before they ever begin. Many people are not poor because they lack ideas. They are poor because they delay. They learn but do not act. They plan but do not offer. They dream but do not message. They watch but do not build. They save videos but do not practice. They say, I will start soon. Soon becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. Then they look back and wonder where life went. Do not be that person. Do not let your life become a folder full of saved videos and unfinished plans. Start with what you have. A phone, a notebook, a wheel, a contact, a free tool, a simple offer, 1 message, 1 post, 1 conversation, 1 sample, 1 small action can open the door. Now, let's talk about common mistakes. The first mistake is trying to look professional before becoming useful. People waste time on logos, colors, websites, names, and perfect bios. But they have no offer, no client, no proof, no result. Stop decorating an empty shop. Get a customer first. Make money first. Then improve the decoration. The second mistake is chasing too many ideas. Today, affiliate. Tomorrow, trading. Next week, drop shipping. After that, freelancing. Then crypto. Then AI. Then real estate. This is not ambition. This is confusion wearing nice clothes. Choose 1 path. Stay long enough to learn. The third mistake is being too proud to start small. Some people do not want small jobs. They want big money immediately. But they have no proof, no skill, no trust, no audience. Who are you fooling? Small jobs build proof. Proof builds confidence. Confidence builds price. Price builds income. Do not despise small beginnings. The fourth mistake is thinking learning equals progress. Learning is good, but learning without action becomes mental comfort. You feel smart, but nothing changes. Use what you learn. Send the message. Make the offer. Create the sample. Post the content. Talk to the client. Do the ugly first version. The fifth mistake is quitting too early. People try something for 1 week and say, "It does not work." No, you did not work long enough. You did not improve enough. You did not test enough. You did not talk to enough people. You did not create enough proof. Do not judge a method after 3 lazy attempts. That is childish. If you want adult money, bring adult patience. Now, let's make the 7 ways even clearer. Way 1. Service arbitrage. You sell a result and hire someone else to help deliver it. Best for people who can talk, organize, and manage. Way 2. Affiliate marketing. You promote useful products and earn commissions. Best for people who can create trust through content. Way 3. Content repurposing. You turn one piece of content into many pieces. Best for people who are organized and understand social media. Way 4. Selling information. You turn useful knowledge into guides, templates, classes, or checklists. Best for people who can explain things clearly. Way 5. Connecting. You introduce people who need each other and earn referral fees. Best for people who have relationships or can build them. Way 6. Freelancing. You sell one skill to people who need help. Best for people who can learn and deliver. Way 7. Building an audience. You create useful content for a specific group and monetize later. Best for people who can stay consistent. Now ask yourself, which one fits me today? Not someday, today. Do not choose based on what sounds sexy. Choose based on what you can actually do. If you hate being on camera, start with writing, editing, research, or connecting. If you like speaking, create videos or offer calls. If you like organizing, do content repurposing. If you know many people, become a connector. If you have a skill, freelance. If you have no skill, learn one. But choose. A confused person earns nothing. A focused person can improve. Now, let's talk about money without capital in the real world. It is not always fast. It is not always clean. It is not always comfortable. You may be ignored. You may send messages and get no reply. You may make a sample and nobody cares. You may post content and get 5 views. You may offer a service and hear no. Good. That is part of the game. Rejection is not death. Silence is not death. A bad first attempt is not death. But quitting is death. Quitting kills momentum. Quitting teaches your brain that every hard thing is a signal to run away. Do not train yourself to run. Train yourself to adjust. If they ignore your message, improve the message. If nobody buys, improve the offer. If the content fails, improve the hook. If the service is weak, improve the skill. If the price is wrong, test another price. If the audience does not respond, understand them better. That is how smart people move. They do not worship failure. They use failure as information. Poor thinking says, I failed, so I am done. Rich thinking says, I failed. So what did I learn? That difference matters. Now, I want you to remember one sentence. No capital is not an excuse. It is a filter. It filters out lazy people. It filters out people who only want comfort. It filters out people who need everything to be easy. It filters out people who are too proud to start small. And it reveals the people who are hungry enough to use what they already have. If you have no money, build skill. If you have no audience, create content. If you have no clients, send offers. If you have no trust, deliver small results. If you have no product, promote someone else's product. If you have no network, start connecting. If you have no confidence, take tiny action until confidence appears. Confidence does not come first. Action comes first. Proof comes next. Confidence follows. Do not wait to feel ready. Most people never feel ready. Start before you feel ready. Start messy. Start small. Start today. Now, let's imagine two people. The first person has no money. He wakes up and scrolls. He watches rich people online. He complains. He says the economy is bad. He says business is hard. He says he needs capital. He saves videos about making money. He makes plans. He tells his friends he will start soon. But at night, nothing has changed. No message sent. No offer made. No skill practiced. No sample created. No post published. No problem solved. Only excuses. The second person also has no money, but he opens his phone differently. He writes down 10 businesses that need content. He sends 3 messages. He watches 1 tutorial. He makes 1 sample. He posts 1 useful idea. He asks 1 person what problem they need solved. He learns 1 skill. He improves 1 sentence. He does 1 small action. At night, he is still not rich, but he is different. He moved, and movement is the beginning of change. That is the real secret. The rich are not rich because they only think, they act, they test, they ask, they offer, they connect, they build, they improve, again and again. Now, let's bring this to your life. Today, after this episode, do not make a huge plan. Do not say, I will change my whole life. That sounds nice, but it usually means nothing. Do 1 thing, 1 small thing. Send 1 message. Write 1 offer. Make 1 list. Create 1 sample. Record 1 video. Read 1 lesson. Contact 1 business. Recommend 1 product honestly. Write 1 page of a guide. Find 1 person who needs help. 1 action. That is enough to break the old pattern. Because the old pattern is waiting. The new pattern is moving. And you must become the kind of person who moves. Now, here is a simple script you can use. If you want to offer a service, say this: Hi, I noticed your business is posting content, but your videos could be turned into short clips for more reach. I can make 1 sample for you. If you like it, we can discuss working together. Simple. No begging. No long story. No desperate energy. If you want to be a connector, say this: Hi, I know someone who may be able to help with that. Would you like me to introduce you? Simple. If you want to promote an affiliate product, say this in your content: If you are struggling with this problem, this tool may help. I use it because it saves time and makes the process easier. I will leave the link below. Simple. If you want to sell information, say this: I made a simple checklist for beginners who want to avoid the most common mistakes. It is short, clear, and easy to follow. Simple. Money likes clarity. Confused offers do not sell. Clear offers sell better. Now, let's talk about ethics. Because some people here make money with no capital and immediately think about tricks. Do not be a clown. Do not scam people. Do not fake results. Do not steal content. Do not promise guaranteed income. Do not sell garbage. Do not manipulate poor people with fake dreams. That is not smart. That is dirty. Real wealth is built on value. Maybe not always perfectly, because the world is messy. But if you want income that lasts, you need trust. Trust is the asset. A person who trusts you can buy again. A person who trusts you can refer others. A person who trusts you can forgive small mistakes. But once trust is broken, money becomes harder. So be useful. Be clear. Be honest. Deliver. That is not old-fashioned. That is powerful. Now, let's talk about the mindset of rich people. Rich people do not only ask, "How much does this cost?" They ask, "What can this become?" They see a conversation and think, "This could become a relationship." They see a skill and think, "This could become a service." They see content and think, "This could become attention." They see attention and think, "This could become trust." They see trust and think, "This could become income." They see income and think, "This could become an asset." That is a chain. Poor thinking breaks the chain at the beginning. It says, "I have no money, so I cannot start." Rich thinking says, "I have no money, so I must use something else." That is smarter, not magical. Smarter? Now, some people will say, "But I am too old." No. Some will say, "But I am too young." No. Some will say, "But I am not confident." Then practice. Some will say, "But I am not talented." Then learn. Some will say, "But I do not know anyone." Then start talking to people. Some will say, "But my English is not good." Then work in your language first, or improve slowly. Some will say, "But I am afraid." Good. Do it afraid. Fear is normal. Obedience to fear is the problem. You do not need to remove fear before starting. You need to take action while fear is still there. That is how courage is built. Now, let's create a 7-day start plan. Day 1. Choose one method. Only one. Do not be greedy. Day 2. Study 3 people already doing it. Do not copy blindly. Observe. Day 3. Create one simple offer or one simple piece of content. Day 4. Make one sample. Day 5. Send it to 5 people or post it publicly. Day 6. Collect feedback. Day 7. Improve and repeat. That is 1 week. Simple. Not easy, but simple. And if you repeat this for 4 weeks, you will not be the same person. Maybe you will not be rich yet, but you will have proof. You will have practice. You will have feedback. You will have a better offer. You will have more courage. You will have started. And starting is where most people fail. They do not fail because the method is impossible. They fail because they never really start. They stay in their head. They keep thinking, keep planning, keep saving videos, keep waiting, keep saying later. But later is dangerous. Later steals momentum. Later sounds peaceful. But many times, later becomes never. Do not let later steal your life. Now, let's return to the 7 ways one more time, but with examples. Service arbitrage. You find a small business that needs a logo, a video, a website, or social media posts. You sell the package. You hire someone better than you to do the technical part. You manage the project. You keep the difference. Affiliate marketing. You build content around one audience and recommend useful products. Not random products. Useful products. Products that solve real problems. Content repurposing. You help busy people turn long content into short content, podcasts into clips, videos into posts, articles into emails, ideas into many formats, selling information. You organize knowledge into checklists, guides, templates, or lessons. You make confusion simple. People pay for simple. Connecting. You introduce the right people to each other. A client to a provider. A buyer to a seller. A student to a tutor. A business to a freelancer. Freelancing. You learn one useful skill and sell it. Writing. Editing. Design. Research. Support. Translation. Posting. Simple services. Building an audience. You create helpful content consistently for one group of people. You build attention. Then trust. Then offers. Each path works. But none of them works for lazy people. That is the truth. A lazy person can destroy any good opportunity. Give them affiliate marketing. They spam. Give them freelancing. They do not practice. Give them audience building. They quit after 10 posts. Give them service arbitrage. They do not follow up. Give them information products. They never finish the guide. Give them connecting. They are too afraid to talk. Give them content repurposing. They deliver late. The method is not always the problem. The person is. Do not be that person. Do not be the weak one who wants results without becoming better. If you want better money, become more useful. If you want more income, solve more problems. If you want more trust, keep your word. If you want more opportunity, talk to more people. If you want more confidence, take more action. This is not complicated, but it requires honesty. And many people hate honesty. They would rather blame the world than face their own behavior. But blame does not pay. Complaining does not pay. Scrolling does not pay. Jealousy does not pay. Action pays. Value pays. Trust pays. Skill pays. Speed pays. Consistency pays. Now, let's talk about the emotional side. Maybe you are listening to this and you feel behind. Maybe you feel like other people already started years ago. Maybe you feel embarrassed because you have no capital. Maybe you feel angry at yourself because you wasted time. Good. Feel it. But do not stay there. Regret can teach you, but it should not become your home. You cannot change the years you wasted. You can change what you do after this episode. That is where power returns. Not in the past. Now. Right now. A person can change direction with one decision. Not a magical decision. A real decision. The kind of decision that shows up in action. Today, I will send the message. Today, I will make the sample. Today, I will learn the skill. Today, I will post the video. Today, I will stop pretending that thinking is the same as doing. That is the decision. Now, before we end, I want you to understand the real lesson. Making money with no capital is not only about money, it is about identity. It teaches you to stop seeing yourself as helpless. It teaches you to stop waiting for someone to rescue you. It teaches you to use your mind. It teaches you to talk to people. It teaches you to create value. It teaches you to build trust. It teaches you to move before you feel ready. That is why it matters. Because once you learn to make money from skill, trust, attention, and problem solving, your life changes. You stop thinking like a victim. You start thinking like a builder. A builder does not wait for perfect weather. A builder uses what is available. A builder starts with one brick, then another, then another. That is how a life changes. Not all at once. Brick by brick. Action by action. Offer by offer. Skill by skill. Clyde by Clyde. Post by post. Day by day. So here is your final reminder. You do not need capital to begin. You need clarity. You need courage. You need one path. You need one small action. You need enough humility to start small, and enough discipline to continue when it feels boring. Because money is not hiding in some magical secret. Money is often hiding inside problems people already have. Find those problems. Solve them, connect them, explain them, organize them, promote solutions to them, create content around them. That is how smart people make money. That is how rich people think. They do not only see lack, they see leverage. They do not only see problems, they see offers. They do not only see attention, they see trust. They do not only see skills, they see assets. Now, if you are still waiting for the perfect moment, stop. This is the moment. Not because it is perfect, but because it is yours. Start with no capital. Start with what you have. Start with your phone. Start with your time. Start with your voice. Start with your brain. Start with one message. Start with one offer. Start with one useful piece of content. Start small today. And if this episode gave you one useful idea, subscribe to the channel now. Hit subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Stay close. Do not just listen and disappear. Do not just feel motivated and then go back to the same old life. Take one action today. One message. One sample. One post. One skill. One offer. One step. Because one step is how everything begins. Thank you for listening. Start smart. Start small. Start now. And I will see you in the next episode.